there is a very big emphasis on women giving a shit about everybody more than themselves. You gotta pick yourself, you know? Pick me. Be a pick me for yourself. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about 5 reasons you should put yourself first always. You know, I grew up feeling like I was going to be trapped in a very codependent situation for basically ever. And so I feel like I've learned a lot of things over these years. I gained a lot of independence. I put myself first, and I feel like I'm here today to do this YouTube video, which I also thought that I was never gonna do, and I always wanted to do YouTube. So, you know, when you like pretend to do YouTube videos, it's so ridiculous, but I feel like, you know, we all like pretend to be like a vlogger. Look at me. I feel like even things like this, you know, these are not topics that are super easy to just chat about every day. Like for a lot of the girlies that maybe struggle with kind of, you know, having a me first attitude, I've been through that for many years. I worked really hard to gain some of my independence. If this video does anything for you, I hope that it encourages you to kind of put yourself first a little bit more, and just kind of think about things a little bit differently. Always trying to get you to think about things differently, see things my way. But I feel like even right now in this moment doing this video, I realize how much things are going relatively okay, like posting up, doing this video, so something's got to be going decently. So without further ado, let's get into the first reason why you should put yourself first always. Being a martyr does not win you any prizes. When you're a martyr, a pushover, self-sacrificing, it just does not get you anything. It doesn't even give you satisfaction or happiness. Like, you know when you're doing something because you want to do something for someone, and then you know when you're doing something because you feel pushed into it and kind of forced. That's what I mean. You're not winning anything from it. You're not doing it freely from a place of, you know, ability and abundance, and you're kind of doing it from a place of lack. Like, you're kind of draining yourself, your resources, your energy, your emotions in some way to give yourself to somebody. So it could be like your family. Maybe your family needs a lot of financial help and you give a lot to your family, but it feels like never ending, like expectations from you. This is what I mean. It's not getting you any damn points. It's not getting you any prizes, any medals, trophies, certificates, ribbons. You're not getting from this, okay? Like, and you're probably not even getting a thank you. I appreciate it. Like, you're not getting anything because it's an expectation, and this is like creating a dynamic. This type of dynamic is not good to have. And this can happen for many reasons. It could be like culture, like you have this expectation for your family, for your parents, for, you know, whoever, brothers and sisters and so on. It's like sometimes you just feel like you can't catch a break and you just want to be like, can't you just help yourself? But you can't really just go and say that and act that way, or, you know, you feel terrible and guilty and you're not really getting off the hook, if you know what I mean. And in fact, nobody's winning anything, because even whoever is kind of relying on you for something, it's kind of like leeching, right? I'll give you an example of how this doesn't help anyone, a specific example. So for me, I was a parentified child, pushed into a role of being a parent or guardian, I should say. This is especially, I think, more obvious when there's like gaps, and this is just, it's just terrible. It's obvious the older siblings are taking care of the younger siblings. And like, I don't mean they're spending time with their siblings. I mean, they're like taking care of them like a parent should, while the parent is not as present as they should be. You know how when you're like a little girl, you should be playing with your little dolls and your little, like, you know, but instead of it being a doll, it's like an actual child. The reason it's so bad is because this is not helping you. Okay. You're feeling robbed of a childhood. You're feeling robbed of individual time with your parent. So was the child that receives the parentification. They're also feeling like, you know, why was there no attention put on me from my parents? They're not enjoying and loving it either. So there you go. I also find that martyrdom can lead to a lot of resentment as well, because how could you not resent someone who put you in a situation like this? How can you sit there and be so immature and expect this from me? You know what I mean? Like, you're putting me in these uncomfortable situations, using the fact that maybe I'm blood related to you or whatever to kind of guilt me into doing whatever it is that you want. Like, that's messed up. That is some messed up ish. Anyway. Reason number 2. Independence is golden. Independence is so important. And to contrast that, codependence is bad. Came from a very codependent family as well. I mean, lo and behold, if I was a parentified child, obviously I was, right? If I'm having to do all these things for my family, well, then I'm obviously relying on them for something too. Maybe you expect your parents to give you proper care and love and support, etc. But you're kind of almost positioned in a way that like you have to do things first to even get maybe a little bit of that. A lot of people should not be having kids, okay? A lot of people should not be having kids. A lot of people should really just no. Codependency is a pile of poo-poo. And all I want to say right now, because it's a pile of poo-poo, lead by being independent. Somebody is expecting you to help them financially. The way you would lead by independence is you would basically have some independence first. So work on gaining that if you don't have it. But the next thing you would do is kind of teach them to be independent. So if you're going to give them anything, give them the tools. You don't give a man a fish. You teach the man to fish kind of thing, so that you don't have to be tethered to the situation and situations like this in general. Because I feel like a lot of people, unfortunately, when they're in a situation like this, they're likely in other situations that are very similar feeling, like, they might have romantic relationships that become similar to this or whatever. And it's good to find other kinds of independent people to put yourself around, because it also encourages you to be independent. If you have independent peers that are, they're kind of like giving booked and busy vibes, like they're just kind of making money moves and stuff, I feel like it's gonna rub off on you. I'm like, maybe I should be doing my own type of stuff too. And that's independence in action, right? That's you taking charge of your life, and that's what you want to do. The other reason why this independence is so golden is because when you rely on people, let's say you're in a codependent relationship and you're kind of looking and just relying on someone for something, and this person is so unreliable to begin with. Though relying on another person to do things for you is not always going to be a done deal, right? Because people are people. They tend to do whatever they want anyways. For you, on the other hand, though, you're the only one you can control, right? You're the only one that can be controlled by you. I mean, people can arguably be controlled by other people, but it's like a choice. And so think about that deeply. You have the ability to stop looking at other people that are going to be so when it comes to getting what you want, when you can put all that energy and focus and time in yourself to ensure you actually get what you want. It doesn't set you up for disappointment and anger and resentment. You said you would help me set up my YouTube channel, but you never did, so I don't have a YouTube channel. It's a stupid example, but you know what I mean. When you rely on other people like this, it's getting your ass nowhere, I promise you. And if anything, you can get nowhere by yourself. How about that? Just stop looking at other people for stuff. Number three, you have more potential if you actually just tried. Give yourself a chance. Be a little bit patient. One little step at a time. 5-second rule or whatever it is. I feel like as women, we are definitely conditioned to behave a certain way. Be graceful, be kind, be sweet. Family and this and that, and it's part of being, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just boys don't get taught this. Be strong, be courageous, make things happen. It's BS, okay? Because you know what? Why? I feel like you should do what feels right to you. And people will do what feels right to them anyway. A lot of women just feel obligated, and so they feel very guilty if they don't do something. We tend to be more emotional in general. You feed on that emotional guilt, and then you're kind of okay, well, I have to do this then. I have to whatever. And it's just guys don't give a shit. Generalizing everybody like crazy right now. Please don't come for me. But I think the general notion of what we're all kind of taught to be help anybody in need, keep your mouth shut. That's it. And then men are the opposite of that. Don't help nobody and do what you want. Maybe times are changing. Maybe things have been kind of moving in another direction. I mean, I'm able to sit up here and do a YouTube video about this kind of stuff, which is great. But I'm just trying to like kind of bring to surface, I think, what a lot of people feel and kind of know their experience to be. Like, I didn't want to go into gender politics about this, but it's hard to ignore these things when you're trying to talk about putting yourself first. Like, this is like honestly almost like elephant in the room for a lot of women, because there is a very big emphasis on women giving a shit about everybody more than themselves. I'm just trying to be me. Like, I'm just trying to be chilling, you know, whether you have kids, you don't have kids, you're single, you're in a relationship, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, people will find issue with it. So this is why I feel like you just got to give yourself a chance to do what you want and just put yourself first, whatever it is that you want to do, and not really worry about what other people have to say. Although I know that when it's a big cultural thing, it makes it harder to go against the grain, but you just got to do what's right for you. You got to pick yourself, you know, pick me. Be a pick me for yourself. That is the perfect segue into the next point. The only person that you can really trust is yourself. Ultimately, and this is like circling back to the people are people, everyone's behavior is just, you know, it can get very unusual and random. It's hard to sometimes judge people and understand what their intentions are. And so at the end of the day, when you make yourself like your first priority, you don't really have to worry and give as much mind to the others that come after you, because they're after you anyway. You first. Mimi, I'm first. Another drag reference. I need to watch Drag Race though, because like I feel like I'm stuck on a season from like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Like, this is ridiculous. But anyway, people like to switch up. People will talk about chimpanzee pets. Oh, they're so dangerous because their behavior is unpredictable. And like they can kill you, and they're like super strong, like way more stronger than humans, so they can just like rip you apart, blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, well, I mean, they could, but I mean, how different is that from a human? Like, I mean, do you think we just share like a common ancestor, just as a matter of fact? Like, I'm not like a zoologist person, but I don't know, maybe that reminds me of another species, right? Like, but anyway, I'm gonna say this though, if you do things for people and you want to help people out, you want to, in whatever way, do it without an expectation of getting anything in return. Anything in return. I love that album, by the way, by Toro y Moi. Listen to that album. Love it. Having no expectations is really, really important. And just give and let live. The only person that really has your back is yourself. I mean, you will trust some people more than others, of course. Like I said, like, it's not like you're not putting other people right after you. You absolutely can. You can totally have it both ways, where you put yourself first, you're the priority. If you want to sleep every night at 8 p.m., you can do that. You don't have to stay up late and be at, you know, up at anybody else's will because they want to go out and do whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like every time I say stuff like that, it sounds like there's some subtext to that, but like, that's not what I mean. I just mean, like, if you want to be very rigid about your schedule, like you just want to like sleep like at 8 p.m. every single night, and nobody's gonna get in the way of your 8 p.m. sleep, then you just have to do that, right? At least mostly, unless there's like a good reason why you wouldn't. And I feel like that's important, right? Like, you have to have that balance, but the balance should definitely be tipped in your favor. So maybe not balance at all. When you think about your life and you're kind of moving down this road of life and you're moving in a car, okay, that's you progressing through life. Are you in the driver's seat? You're in full control, you're choosing where to go, you're not really listening to whoever's sitting in the passengers or backseat or whatever, you're kind of just doing whatever you want to do, you know? Or are you a passenger? Maybe you're actually giving some guidance. Maybe you're like, hey, well, I kind of want to do this, so let's go here or whatever. But you're like, you know, the person driving, which is not you, is kind of like Like maybe sometimes they're listening to you, other times they're kind of still doing whatever they want, but this is your life. So it's like still not the best situation, but it's not as bad as it could be. Maybe you're in the backseat, taking a nap, playing on your Switch. You're just not really paying attention. Life is kind of just happening to you and you're letting someone else take the reins. You're like, go ahead. Yeah, whatever. I don't care. I'm just gonna let life pass me by. Like you're not really aware of what's going on. You made a wrong ass turn. This is a sketchy environment. You know what I mean, right? Or are you held hostage in the trunk? You don't even know what time of day it is. You have absolutely no control. You're not even sure if you can get out of that damn trunk. Really think about where you're sitting in that car. If you can adjust your expectations of others, that is awesome because you're gonna be way happier. You're gonna find way more opportunity and abundance. You're gonna feel a lot lighter. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna feel more free and you're gonna feel like you can do anything. Really and truly. It just reinforces your standards even more, like having the boundaries and the standards, you know, it becomes more rigid when you're putting yourself first. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and if you like to see more of these kinds of videos, subscribe and like, and of course leave your comment. What do you think about all this stuff that I said? Please let me know. Love to read it. Unless it's stupid. Thanks guys. Hope you have a wonderful day or night or whatever. Bye.